Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the Seventh Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formations have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus toward unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation according to the Ascians. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being primarily a military outfit, I mean to assuage. How do you pronounce that word? Assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Ascians work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations as to what we can achieve. With this new company under the Ascians' command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Ascians are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to true border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limpsa Laminsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Okay. Let's just drain all the goodwill I just built up over the last, 50, 60 hours. Boop-a-doo. Likewise, good to see you streaming again. Hope all is well. All is well. I'm still crazy enough to believe that, streaming is a viable future for myself. I've been thinking about the future quite a lot. I've been doing maths to figure out, at what time can I do this full time? And the estimate is something crazy, somewhere between 6 months and 6 years. Based on, the last week's growth versus growth overall, my climbing in the rankings and in Twitch, and how much you actually need to succeed. And, that excites me. 6 years is about what I estimated. Or, sorry, 8 years total is what I estimated, but we're, at 1.5 years. So it's cool to know that, my estimates are in line with, the original. Alright, Bulwark Hall. That's in Limsa? Let's see, a Scion army. What could go wrong, right? What we need are more military factions. That'll improve the stability of Eorzea. Hey, what's 6 years among friends, right? Like, I keep seeing professional streamers basically dying from burnout. And I just feel it's super arrogant and unlikely that this won't affect me either. But, like, I feel like I could do this forever without experiencing burnout. Because, frankly, it's not that different from what I already do. And I'm having a great time. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with the Admiral Blofiswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they be already pledged to another institution, only that they're willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter and we might prepare for the next leg of the journey. He sure says a lot of words. What's my day job currently? Financial software engineer. I mostly do back-end stuff, making sure that the flow of money goes directly from the poor to the rich within, the speed of milliseconds, because that seems to matter. And so you can imagine, I'm not super content with my day job, and so, basically, literally anything would make me happier. Whew. I am good at it, though. At least that's what I'm told. People believe I'm good at it, and that's important enough. Software engineering is such a weird place. Everyone's either, overly arrogant and proud of themselves for their abilities, or terrified that someone's going to find out that they have no idea what they're doing. What I've discovered is that none of them know what they're doing, myself included. Oh, you watched your video about streaming for a year, and it really inspired you? Thank you for that. You're welcome. I'm really glad, Beanie Buns. I'm thinking of making more videos like that in the future. And I really do think it's possible. A lot of people get discouraged from streaming, I think because, it seems so unrealistic. To be full-time, you need to be in, the top 10,000 streamers on Twitch. And out of 7 million, that feels impossible. But if you ever feel bad, just look at the people who are below the 10,000 threshold. If you can see them and be like, you know what, I think I can do better than that, which you probably can. The bottom several million are all really bad streams. Hope that streaming works for me. I hope it does too. Dropped you a follow but didn't even realize I play your favorite game. I play every game. That's what makes me so fun. I've recently played racing games for the first time in a long time. I've recently played fighting games for the first time in a long time. And horror games. Usually there's something cozy on the menu, but aside from that, Yeah, I play whatever sounds like the most fun at the time. Sorry, an organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. Yeah, obviously we should speak to, like, the shady characters first for the new army. But the Krakens are well known. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch. And I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Yeah, I do try to keep, like, something cozy on the menu at all times, just because that's what the fans want. And it's like, it's pretty apparent. Like, whenever I play, like, a farming sim, I get, like, 10 times the number of views on YouTube. But I want to set the precedent that we play everything. That way, like, I don't, like, get famous playing cozy games, and then I play, you know, Space Marine 3 and blow everyone's mind, and they're like, what are you doing? You were supposed to be cute. Master Alphina's new organization. Yes. I had heard of the formation of this trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. One of my strategies at work is basically, whenever anybody asks me to join a task force, I say yes. Mostly because, you know, all the work's the same no matter what you do. But it's really good resume butter to say, like, you remember all the most pressing problems that ever faced our company? I was on the team that solved all of them, and they were several different teams. But yeah, this is actually the most realistic result I've ever heard. Of course, nobody's going to join, like, be member number 1 of the new army. Can they be on our squad? Look at those squats. Have a problem with that? Lovely. Who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. And if you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Cavalion's door. I did. I talked to him first. But I want the pirates to hang out with me. Speaking of cozy games, there's a cute one coming out later this month. Critter Cafe. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Petite Island came out, I think, yesterday. But that game's a little... like, I haven't seen anything but cute from that game. I still need a game underneath the cuteness to get my interest. Precursor to the Eorzean Grand Company. Well, I do admire the scope of your ambition. My responsibilities here at Naldeek and Vimeli's keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. I like the goggles. This way. You're kind of coming to terms with the fact that you probably won't be able to have a normal job ever again. But streaming is fun and allows for so much creativity, so you're going to keep on it? I'm glad. And if you're streaming on Twitch, I'll drop you a follow after this. And we can support each other. Actually, that makes it feel like you've got an obligation to me. I will support you in your endeavors. You don't have to follow me. I know you already said you did, but Sugarheart gives his support out for free. And to everybody. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Sugarheart, good morning. Better late than never. But you made it again. Ah, you missed the fight with Ramu. We beat up an old man. Which is a behavior I don't encourage. Well, if it ain't old, I'd not forget a adventurer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into the Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Real, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes. 3 whistles at Bronze Lake. Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out of Limsa for a drink, but I'm glad I did. How you fare these days? Huh? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work, huh? Sounds like a right lark it does. Alright, laddie. Count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Alright. We did ask the coolest people in Limsa if they wanted to join. I think I'd like to invite the chef at the Bismarck too. Real! Yeah, you're a big fan of Real? Does he come up often? I mean, he's charming. Like, I do remember him, but like, I don't remember seeing him ever again after this. Oh man, you'll have to watch the replay later. Yeah, it was a fun time. I get the weirdest queue times. So like last week, we sat in the queue for over an hour and didn't get in. This morning I like log in and it just throws me right in there. Like, it was an instant queue. I'm still trying to figure out how this works. I think the advice I get from most people in Dynamis is, well, like, if you don't queue immediately, switch data centers. And that's what I thought I was going to have to do. But, like, man, it threw me in there all weird. And Windows installed an update and Streamlabs like shut off my mic. It was a rough morning. Old, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa. Ah, a member of the legendary company Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. A few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray, continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nofika's altar. Oh, I'm on Dynamis? Will I accept a present? It depends on what the present is. The answer is probably. I mean, I like presents. And it's not like you can give me anything that'll make, like, the game extremely easy. I'm expecting you have some kind of, like, cute puppy minion or something, right? Yeah, I'll accept any present. Like, I can't think of any game-breaking present. Like, those are the kind of presents, like, I'd say no to. Respectfully, nah. You give me the axe of instant transmission to level 90, I'd be like, no thanks, I'm good. But I don't think such a thing exists. Like, even Gil is not like a huge, huge benefit. It does kind of like get me through the end game, the true end game, which is glamour. It'll probably end up, if it was money, that would go directly to a pretty outfit for our run as an astrologian for Heaven's Ward. Where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I? Oh, can't go to Dynamis? I got it wrong. You need to make an NA alt for these sort of things. You would have given me an extra emote. Oh, is it the cool one where like the kitties make like a little creepy face? Or is that like a kitty specific emote? Because I've only seen cat girls do it. Hey, it's our friend Ruruka. She was in there when we fought Ramu. My audience with the Elder Seed Seer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. You do have that one in your retainer? I don't even know what that means. I've never actually played with retainers. Is that a huge mistake? Should I be doing retainer stuff? After you deem the well of potential candidates as run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. You look in the horizon, you can see the occasional Lalafell bot. I saw them. They were popping in and out of existence with their 6 random digit names. Elusive bot ghosts. Maybe they got account banned right at that moment. That would be neat. Oh, sorry. I was eavesdropping on Ruruka's conversation. But that would be impolite. I think she might be role-playing. This seems like a great game to role-play. Like, I could see you really getting into it. Alright, potential recruits in Gridania. I'm trying to think of cool people we've met in Gridania along the way. Ooh, what about that lady who got her friend's head cut off? I heard she turned goth. Oh gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Oh, you're the guy. Heck, could it be you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler, and a regular patron at Buscaron's. Yeah, I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if the jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the Wood Whalers will have not more to do with me. This may just be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I promise you, I am a changed man. You'd love to stream but haven't taken that step yet? Maybe someday? It's pretty easy to start. Like, I don't know. I basically I spent my Christmas bonus 1 year on a VTuber avatar, which is not necessary, but like I felt like it was important. I do feel like you need some sort of avatar. It's a lot easier if you just use your face. But you need something to like paste on the screen so that people just don't think they're watching blank gameplay. Not that most people, or a lot of people, don't prefer it. Let's see. Hey, Kitty. Hi. Kitty, I can't see anything. You cannot be here. Ow. Oh God, my life. There you go. Be in the lap. Okay, where was I? I agree. But you also agree with your YouTuber video. There are crazy people out there. Yeah, that's... I mean, I made a video about it, but... that's the reason I'm a VTuber and not just a face. Like, if I didn't have a family and it was just me, I think I would feel confident enough to dump my face out there. And just deal with whatever disaster, like, shows up at my doorstep and wants to raise my kids. Speaking of raising kids, Alien. That's a fun name. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up on you for good. I am terribly sorry. Were we just... old, is it? It's been some time since our paths crossed outside the Copperbell mines. Man, that was a long time ago. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then. But look how far you've come. Mother Meown tells me it was you who felled the fearsome black wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of the new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yeah, I'll do it. It's the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isoldoir safely home. Nothing I like more than trying to pronounce the names in Gridania. What's my cat's name? His name is Baldanders. Named after my favorite monster in my favorite game, Coldcept. So I wouldn't really know where to start to get one for a decent price without getting scammed. So I did a lot of research in the matter. If you're looking for a cheap VTuber avatar, there's contract work sites like trying to remember the names of them. Like Etsy springs to mind, but I think you're a lot more likely to get scammed on Etsy. So I'd go something. Is it Just Work? Something like that? Just something? Fiverr is another one. You can like just search for like VTuber models and rigging there. In a lot of countries, you can find something for under like $200. VGen? I don't know anything about VGen. But yeah, if you go through like a third-party website, like say Fiverr, you've got that third party to like safely guard like the transaction, so you're not getting scammed by like random people who are trying to get you to pay them through like Cash App or something unsecure. But VGen is an art commission platform. I'll have to check that out after here. At the rate of my stream growth, I will be looking at getting a better model someday. Probably like 2 years from now, if the rate of growth stays consistent. Which it won't, but it might. Let's see. Yeah, I do love my kitty. And I really like my derp emote. It's actually him. I submitted a picture of my cat to the emote artist. So the derp emote is Baldanders. He's a big fluffy guy. He's very old. He's about 12 years old now, give or take. You would offer this old man's place a place in your company of champions? I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Like, every good military needs a butler. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear the responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon the land. Hey, thank you for the follow, Udi. I'm happy to have you. Are you the Udi from YouTube? And also, did I pronounce that correctly? Alright. No butlers for the new army. Yes and yes. Nice. I don't have much of an American audience when I stream at 4:30 in the morning. And so, like, I always have no idea how to pronounce things. Because, like, this time is about lunchtime in Europe. But it's also, like, the evening in, like, the Philippines and Oceanic region in the Pacific. And so I get a lot of things I have no idea how to pronounce. Basically, every pronunciation in the world. Like this lady, whose name is Swingwield. Tis not often a guild officer, such as myself, gets recruited. And this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise. But its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such a time as your organization is more organized. Now, a lot of good things can happen when you get in on the ground floor of something like this. You're Brazilian, and I pronounced it as an American would. Nice. I've got a decent Brazilian audience. I don't know why Brazilians like me. Frankly, I don't know why anybody likes me, but some do. But yeah, I used to hang out with the Romance language department of a nearby university because my old roommate was a Spanish teacher, and I ended up hanging out with lots of Brazilian people, lots of Spanish-speaking people, lots of Russians. It was a very it was a rainbow coalition of partying. It was great times. I even learned to samba, but the Russian girl kept kicking me in the shins, like real bad. Like she would kick me in the shin and insist I was doing it wrong. She kicked me so many times. Let's see. You're from here in the States, but you're usually up early for work, so it works out. That's why I'm up. This is the only time I get to myself with kids and a day job. What news, old? For my part, the Elder Seer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Old Daw while the iron's hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Like the Alamegan refugees were just complaining about, our preferential treatment of the Domans. If we extend this offer, it's strategically and politically sound. Final Fantasy XIV is nothing but complex internal politics and team building exercises. Same for you at 7 a.m., but you start at 7. Oof. I showed up on your YouTube recommendation, so I guess YouTube is recommending you to Brazilians? Yeah. So, like, in YouTube, you tend to get, like, clusters of similar people. So, like, one of my biggest fans, like, who found me very early on, is in Brazil, and she works as a mail carrier. And so she's up early and just basically puts me on in the background as like a podcast. And so it will recommend me to other Brazilians who like cozy games. And I don't know, dull old men. I'm not exactly sure how it's typecasting me, but like once you get in someone's watch history, and the more time you spend in that person's watch history, the more people like them you end up with. Like, one of the easiest things to do to, like, support a streamer is just watch. Because, like, for my Brazilian crowd, I think I have to thank, like, my Brazilian big fan that showed up early on. Ulda, the Gilded City, where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending it to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade where our respective tasks complete. Good hunting, old. You'll recommend me to your Final Fantasy buddies? That's nice. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. One of the mistakes I think early streamers make is they ask strangers to like and subscribe. They'll ask like friends and family. They'll be like, hey, I'm starting streaming, you should watch. And like maybe like 1 in 100 of your acquaintances will be like really into it, and everyone else will just kind of like and subscribe because you told them to. But really, streaming to people you've never met, and like people who genuinely like you for no particular reason, like it's often better than like recruiting from friends and family. Did that ramble make any sense? It's a theory of mine. The thing is, like, friends and family, like, they like you, but for different reasons than for like what your hobbies are. Yeah, if they subscribe and don't watch, it kills the algorithm. Yeah, that's been my experience. Oh, what a happy coincidence. You remember me, perchance? I'm Orson, of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Thank you for your timely rescue. I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion? Thancred, was it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. It reminds me, like, I've got a friend who knows I stream, and he's constantly like telling me what games I should play, and I've played them a few times, And then, like, I'm 99% sure he's never watched any of them. And so I'm like, I'm playing these for you. But, like, do you actually care? Like, why are you recommending things you're not going to watch? I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashion manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady has already spoken to you. Good day, sir. Oh, Yellow Moon. One day you will be mine. Ah, she hit me with the, I have a boyfriend. When someone does that, you drop it. Regardless of if it's true or not, you're just like, okay, I'm out. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, like, I've met a lot of cool people playing, like, some of his recommendations, so they weren't entirely bad. Some things that spring to mind, Subnautica, Skyrim. Skyrim was actually kind of like my response to him. He was like, you got this shiny new computer and you're playing all these like indie games that like requires zero graphics. You need to play something like visually impressive. And I'm like, got it, Skyrim. Download 500 gigs of mods. Like, I can't get much more resource intensive than that. You'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. And if you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. I mean, fair. Rumors and hearsay. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the stall next over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Why am I recruiting street vendors? They've got a job. But sometimes playing old popular games works really well for streaming. Like, there are games I classify as like forever games. Like, once people find these games, like, they're content to play it for like the rest of their lives, never touching anything else. Things like Call of Duty or Madden or Satisfactory or Minecraft. Like, people find these games and they're just like, this is it. This is me forever. I don't need any other game. And like, if you stream those, you'll always have an audience because they're always looking for more. But like, they won't follow you to the next new game. And so that like doesn't work for me in particular because I've got about a 70-hour attention span. Like, if I make it through the full 360 hours of Final Fantasy XIV story, that will be like one of the biggest accomplishments and like consistent gaming I've ever had. It also depends on how big the pool of streamers are for that game. There are a lot of great indie games out there that have much smaller pools than big AAA titles. Yeah. Satisfactory mentioned Heart. Yeah, I got a lot of viewers from Satisfactory. Like, if you look at the views on my videos, like, for whatever reason, Satisfactory gets hundreds and hundreds of views, where typically I get 3. Meanwhile, you with 4,000 hours in this game, right? Like, Final Fantasy XIV is probably like the best forever game I can think of. Because there's so much content here and there's so much to do, and the social aspect is there too. Like, you can You could build an entire life in Final Fantasy XIV. Like, there's so many, like, stories, like, I met my husband doing fishing in Final Fantasy. It's good times. And people like that are often just always looking for, like, new content in Final Fantasy XIV. Someone, like, popped in and said they were so glad I was playing MSQ because they needed a refresher on their Realm Reborn story. Like, it's reasons like that that have made Final Fantasy Fridays successful. And I'll keep doing them probably forever because, like, I keep getting an audience. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead. And a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, the disaster really got me thinking. About our homeland, about the outsider who saved us from ourselves, and I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions? And you say it will take me to all corners of the realm. That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Alright, yeah, see, that was the little Alamigan refugee I knew I could recruit somewhere. Where's the elevator? Genuinely, I have no idea where I am. Here. Boop-a-doo. Boop. But yeah, like, so playing a forever game will get you a lot of views. The problem is, like, people with their forever game mostly will not follow you to other games. Like, there's going to be a decent number of people who are watching me play Final Fantasy just because it's Final Fantasy. But a lot of them are not going to cross over to see, like, the cozy games or the horror games or the racing games. And that's fine. I've just got to appreciate those friends for what they were. Just, you know, people who saw me doing a thing that they loved and wanted to support me. I like that. How fared you, old? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? I found a dude. A single Alamigan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are still yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, old. I will not squander this precious gift that you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you've no doubt surmised, the Sultana has also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over. The document signed, the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. About the finances. You're concerned about the syndicate's involvements? As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Now, hang on. It sounds like you just said, yep, that's money, and wrote down how much. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding the enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. Will not be an easy process, but we will earn the people's trust, one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Whew, that was a talky quest. Though it gave me a good opportunity to ramble about myself. And I always like those.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together.
I wouldn't say that.
Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve.
Same.
With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing?
I could throw him pretty far.
What our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Aww. It's so good that Raoban has 2 arms for hugging.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
He's so good at hugging. Let's see. Where am I going? Rising Stones. My alarm did go off, and I do have to get the kids to school, but I have to complete the quest first. The fate of Eorzea is way more important than, you know, 2nd grade. Everybody knows that. Surely the teacher will understand. I don't know, I've gotten a couple of angry letters from my daughter's teacher in particular about her tardiness. Clearly it's not my fault. That is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Old. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Teacher, I'm sorry Raubon's arms were important. Like, have you seen them? They're so good for hugging. Alright, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I had a great time. We'll play more Final Fantasy next Friday. And we'll just keep going. We might even get to Snowcloak? I don't know. The talking's been pretty lengthy. We might not make it there, but I hope we will. I'm excited for the Akampa Theater, whatever it's called. Mostly because the soundtrack there is amazing. And so I'll probably listen to that soundtrack all day, but I will see you tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Tonight. If you want, I'm playing Magical Bakery tonight.